Hey gang, how y'all doing? Tampa Tom Fishing, Rose Aquatics, Daryl Deemer, John Oliver's Guppies and Aquatics, Posewee. What's going up, crew? 4 here. One thumbs up. Thank you very much. Um, I'm going to go into the subject matter that may frustrate some people who are part of Fishtube, or some people that are like old school uh, who, for whatever reason, dislike fish tubers, the old guard, the OGs, the original gangsters. Okay, so let's go into this. Um, the OGs, these guys who have been since like the 1960s, have had aquariums up and running. They have 40 to 80 tanks. They've raised whatever, could be guppies, could be swordtails, platies, could be rainbow fish, could be certain types of cichlids, angels, discus. These people, um, they feel like they've earned respect, and you know what? In many ways, they have. These guys have gone around, and these women have gone and they've raised fish, and before you could go and ship them through the mail successfully, an easy type of way, and they went and they put the time in with their fish. They have updated how they have done things. Some of the equipment was very difficult to get, so a lot of these OGs went and built things for their own fish room. Things that I was in one where the guy had built his own internal filter, or external filter, I should say, for his fish room, which was about 200 tanks. And Big J's Fish Keeper, how are you? And these guys, Jesse, HC Agua, and these guys, by the way, some of them are fantastic. They'll give you all the information that you ever need about fish, get to know them, etc. Some of them are a little secretive. Some will do a little hiding of their quote unquote their secret to making their fish so fantastic, about getting fish to reproduce and all this sort of stuff. They developed it. Um, Bob, Kaler's Aquatics here in the house. So the OGs who have been through it forever, they were into it when, and and trust me, I was a kid when I had these. Remember the aquariums that had the metal around them? That was my first couple of aquariums when I was a kid. So these guys, they look at some of the stuff and some of the, the wacky, fancy stuff that we do, and they don't necessarily know us. We haven't been a member of the club. We haven't been, all that sort of stuff. Larry D's Tanks and more. Vinny the Mooch. Wow, gang, how y'all doing? So the old guard sees, I was at a fish club meeting, and I won't say which one it is. I'll say which one it was not. It was not the Northwest Arkansas Aquarium Society. But I've gone to like fish clubs all over the region where I live, and I won't say which one it is, because quite frankly, it's not fair. And number two is that I think any fish club, they have that type of deal. And the subject of aquarium co-op came up, and and one of the young kids that was in there, probably someone in his teens, goes, "Oh, I love Korean Aquarium Co-op." And the OG just sat there instantly saying, "He knows nothing. He's an idiot." And so you sit there and you listen to it, and you'll see them take shots at any of the fish tubers. Now, some fish tubers have put themselves out as being experts, which I try not to do. Um, there are things I think I do pretty well. There are things I don't do well. I try to share my experiences, share what I have done, what I feed, all that sort of stuff. But I'm not there trying to go out and claim to be the greatest expert. Sorry about the noise in the background. Forgot to close the door to the laundry room. By the way, congratulations, Larry D's. Thanks some more. 1,000. One day I'll be there. One day. But that's how I do it. I do it just to chat with you and to share my experiences. So the one thing I have always tried to do, thank you very much, Fosiwi. That's what I try to be helpful, try to share what I know. I don't have any quote unquote secrets in the fish room. But the one thing I will say this is that I try to share my knowledge, and when I'm, at these fish clubs especially where the OGs are around, I try to listen to what they have to say. Because a lot of these guys, if they feel comfortable with you, they'll give you their secrets. They'll tell you what they do. But it's just the process is that these guys were in the hobby when underground filters were, with gravel, when that was, the absolute best you could do. Now we have so many more alternatives on how we can keep our aquariums, how we can keep everything going well with our fish. So, yeah, that's one of the things that goes through. The other thing the OGs, dislike about YouTube is that, it takes, a little bit of the mystery about it. So you can go in and let's say you want to keep angelfish. Well, yeah. Hey, my first got several tanks for underground filters. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Doug Gray. So the OGs, they went and did all this stuff. They went and did all these different things. And now, if you want to know how to keep angelfish or guppies or whatever it is, you can go to YouTube, look at all these things, and some of the advice, by the way, that you will get is really good. Some of the advice, bad advice. It's some of it is terrible advice. So, remember when we go to these things, go to this type of stuff, you have to get. You didn't get a notification from YouTube about my live stream? Jerks. Sorry, YouTube. You're wonderful. I love you. Hold on. Oh, what am I drinking today? Diet Dr. Pepper. Diet Dr. Pepper, everybody. So, yeah, so the OGs, they look at a lot of the content about fish, especially if they are a specialist that have 30, 40, 50, 60, 90 aquariums working on that fish that they love so much. Hey, Dragon Layer, how are you? And then they go through it and they see terrible advice on the fish that they love. and that they've worked with, that, some of these people have innovated how to care for these fish. And they see somebody with a YouTube channel who has 10,000 followers, and they look at the advice and they go, that's terrible advice. So that's that's one of the things, and that's one of the things that really frustrates the OGs. Really frustrates the OGs. So just remember this as you go through and you look at, that's my dryer going off. I won't get it. It's nothing that I have to worry about. David Samsel. Well, hey, you know what? Thanks just for dropping by. I always appreciate it. And Doug Gray, you see, I think some of that's really really a fair deal. One of the reasons why I have joined some fish clubs is that I'm able to look in and see what they have. Hey, Jeffrey Cunningham, how are you? And I'm able to go in and see what they have and what the people who've been doing it forever have done. I learned a heck of a lot. Doug Gray's videos. I've learned a lot from Doug's videos, but he knows what he's doing. Peplin Creek Aquatics, how are you? Good afternoon. Doug Gray put out a video yesterday where he showed some breeders that he had set up with a couple of different lines, and he was talking about which fish he picked up. It picked out for his breeders. And that's very helpful. Very helpful. Okay, Bolo's getting down. Say hi to Bolo, everybody. All right. He's been sitting in my lap nice and quiet for about an hour and a half. I had to go to work and hit the grocery store. So the process of it is that you go and you learn from the OGs. You go out and you give them the respect they deserve. And so that's one of the things that I think that we all have to understand. And some of it's a little bit of a jealousy thing too. Some of these OGs, they how come they have all these things, and well, their channel has some showmanship. Maybe you have a channel up there, you're not explaining anything. There's a number of different things that go into it. But just realize that if you go in and let's say you're looking at how to keep a certain type of fish, whatever that may be, and realize that on YouTube, you're not necessarily going to get the best advice from every channel. Just isn't. I again, I pay attention to guppies, and I do a lot of stuff. Rose Aquatics, how are you? I keep guppies. I keep track of my guppies, all that sort of stuff. I don't necessarily think I'm the best at what at what's going on with guppies, but I just share what I do. I share my experiences. I share what goes on. And, when I'm around people who know a heck of a lot more than me, I ask questions. I try to learn from them. Well, Doug Gray, I think a lot of us stumble our way into success. Okay, this is what's worked. This is what hasn't worked. Let's see, Dragon Layer. My biggest the budget aquarist. How are you? Color Guppies. My biggest pet peeve is live streams, which become a bunch of YouTuber friends discussing a bunch of things that have nothing to do with fish keeping. But I've just stopped watching those. Well, Dragon Layer, sometimes we go way off the, anybody who watches this live stream knows that, yeah, I sometimes go well off the beaten path, and nonsense rolls out. Um, it's Doug hauls people in with his jokes, with his dad jokes. He's got a bunch of them. It's all good. So again, if you're looking to do whatever type of fish, whatever that may be, um, get your fish from somebody who knows a lot about what's going on, and go out and help people that go through. Support people in the fish fam that you think are doing a good job, know what they're doing. And there's a lot of them that do. I will say this is that there's a lot of things. I'll give you a couple of things. I'll tell you something that I do that a lot of Renee, how are you doing, buddy? Great having you here. Okay, Bolo, come on. Bolo scratches my leg when he wants to come up, and then you lean over and he runs. But I left his leash on him so I could catch him easy, because he'll do that 5 or 6 times. So go out and learn and go through. But I'll tell you what I do. One of the things I do that a lot of the Guppy, especially the IFGA guys, probably would tell me not to do, but it's mainly been an aquarium type of room types of situation. I set up my breeders, and then they get into the part of I allow them to stay in there long enough to where I begin to get where I get colony breeding. Then I go out and reset. And a lot of the guys who are really into the IFGA doing stuff like that, they do that every generation. I mean, they are fastidious about it. And I need to be more fastidious about it. It's one area where I can be a better fish keeper. And yeah, by the way, I watched that Mossy thing the other day. It was great. They wanted to know if I was going to go to their fish auction this week, and I can't because it's on a Thursday, and I live about 5 hours away, and I have to work on Friday morning. We've been short people, and I can go out and I can go out and do quite frankly, come on, Bolo. And I I can go up there and do that, but I have to work on Friday with short people. They're just not going to allow. I just can't take time away. I can't. I would love to, but I'll hit one of those Massey events. I really enjoyed what they did this last week. It was really good. Yeah, culling is really important. Yeah, and I think your Guppy Club's having a meeting tomorrow via Zoom. Yeah, you see, there you go. I think Jesse, I think picking good guppy breeders. It's get to ask Doug Gray, Jesse. Ask Doug Gray to speak at it. He's really good, and he, can present stuff going from there. Melvin, building our brand in the house. Sorry, Doug, I volunteered you, but I think you'd be really good at it. I like fish tubers who are open to the possibility they don't know anything. Many believe in their own hype, and I think that's sort of the deal. I think you're totally right. I think that there are some people on there who who think they know it all, and they don't. If you know anything, if you know it all in this hobby, let me tell you something. You know nothing. I know a lot. I don't know as much as Doug. I don't know as much as some of the OG Guppy people. But I know more than a lot. Hey, Amber, Big City Bettas, welcome to the live stream. Glad you're here. How are you feeling? How's it going? Yeah, Jesse is good. He knows what he's doing with his guppies. Hey, thank you very much, John Oliver. You know, and I'll tell you what, the idea here is that we all can learn more. We can all do certain things. It's there's all new things to try, and some of these things work out really well, and some of them, it's just the nature of the beast. One of the things that I've been trying to do, I'll tell you what, I made a mistake this week. Not a terrible mistake, but it was a mistake. Um, I got home from work on Thursday or yesterday. I got home from work last. I go to work at 5 a.m. I'm home at 2 p.m. So I'm heck of a lot of fun. So I got home and realized I didn't make. No, this would be Thursday night. I got home Thursday night and discovered I didn't set up my brine shrimp hatchery. So I my LFS didn't have any frozen Daphnia when I was in there Daphnia a couple of weeks ago. So here's what I did. I went and I picked up some frozen Daphnia. I have some frozen Cyclops. I did 2 pellets of each, 2 of the little squares of each. Put a little treated aquarium water, let it melt, and I fed all my fish with it. It's close to live as I can get. It's all good. Today I did it. I set it up for today, and I have it set up for tomorrow. So that's good news. Good news all the way around. Yeah, the whole process. By the way, gang, thanks for saying hi to each other. I really appreciate it. And if you think of giving me a thumbs up, that'd be fantastic too. 24 here, 11 thumbs up. I really appreciate you guys. Hat Trick Farm, what's up? Welcome to the live stream. So we have been discussing the for people who popped in, uh, the OGs and and some of the things having to do with a lot of the OGs cannot stand a lot of the fish tubers. Probably me, which is fine. I'm not here to win a popularity contest. Here to just share my experiences. And and yeah, and you know what? By the way, people with lots of aquariums doesn't mean they're a better fish keeper. It just there's a lot. And by the way, um, I think almost every fish keeper has had issues with stuff. And I'll give you one of the Guppy guys. And Doug Gray will vouch on me for this guy. And if you've kept guppies for any length of time, you've heard the name Stan Schubel. Well, Peter, I have not got a hi. Don Gallagher, I'm sorry. I said hi to you. Maybe I didn't. I thought I said hi. I apologize. If I miss you, let me know. I don't want to. I don't want to. Yeah, Stan Schubel, for all intents and purposes, he's the godfather of modern guppy breeding. And I remember hearing a story about him that he all of a sudden all the guppies in his fish room were sick. And yeah, Lou Roebuck, another great guy. Roebuck Reds. Doug Gray has them. Bob Kaler has them. I have them forever. Um, so he went in. He got some fish back from a fish show, and all of a sudden, all the fish in his entire fish room were sick. And he couldn't quite figure out why, except he eventually just thought, well, maybe the fish came back sick, which makes no sense, yada yada yada. And he realized that he needed to put even fish that he sends to a fish show, he needs to put them in quarantine before they get into his setup, because he had a water change system that apparently was somewhat interconnected. So it's all things that we can learn. If Stan Schubel could make a mistake, you can make a mistake. I can make a mistake. Stan Schubel, is anybody who's kept guppies has heard about him. It's you're almost the way that delta tails look on guppies probably can all be traced to Stan Schubel, who passed away 2-3 years ago. And so that's good. Drew, just realized the most tetras of my 125 tanks are close to 5 years old now. That's amazing. That's saying that you're doing a good job. Well, Renee, you're right. There is a difference between mistakes and negligence and getting way too far ahead of yourself. No, I think that's right. Yeah, stress reduces fish's immune system. Amber saying you can make them prone to illness. See that all the time when we ship bettas to shows. That's why we usually send the second best one and save the best for breeding. You see, there you go. That's an idea. I completed your thought, Amber. If I got it wrong, let me know. Hey, Anthony's fishy friends. Hey, enjoy that pole dancing. And thank you very much, Bob Kaler. Thank you very much. It's Stan died 2 years ago. Okay, so I was pretty close. So the process of it. Oh, Bolo's here. Hi, Bolo. You want to get down or you want to be held? Cyclist 23, what's going on? What is going on? Great to have you here. 26 people. Yeah, so the OGs, and I will tell you, when you get into an OG's fish room, one of these people that have been keeping fish for 45 years or 50 years, observe what they do in their aquariums. Look what's going on. I've been in some of these OG aquariums where, I mean, my God, find even a little bit of algae. It doesn't exist. These guys are unbelievable. My aquariums, I have a couple of aquariums that have pretty good algae, unfortunately. One of them being the Amica Splendens tank, because I didn't want to disturb the fish in the fry. I probably will begin to get that out. I'll do a water change probably later on today. What, Mr. Bolo? You want to get down? He's a good boy. And yeah, so that's Bolo is kind of bossy. You know what? I took him out yesterday. He's deaf, which I've said before. He does not hear. I was fried. I got home yesterday, I did some stuff around the house. And about 4:30, I became totally fried. He wanted to go for a walk. I took him for a walk. He did all of his business. He made a solid deposit, which I picked up with a Walmart bag. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to take a nap. So I climb into bed, and he does not sleep in the bed with me. He, trust me, that would not be a good idea. Well, he starts barking at me. So when he was a puppy, I had to do this. I haven't done this a long time. I laid him down and, and made sure that he knew he was answering to me without hurting him or anything like that. Not another, that was it. It was done. He knew it. And I woke up at 9 p.m. last night. I woke up at 9 p.m. And then You know, I had to take him for a walk. I had to eat something. I hadn't even had dinner yet. And so I made a open faced peanut butter sandwich and then went back to bed. Big food guy. You see, big food guy, that's a good idea. You make my guppies, and guppies take turns sleeping in the bed with you. They're rotating them every night. Good idea. Good idea. Welcome to the live stream. If you haven't given this a big thumbs up yet, I've said hi to Peplin Creek, haven't I? No, I said hi to Cichlids. You know, I hate that I miss it. Chewy, how are you doing? You're kind of late. This is a subject, by the way, excellent. This is a subject, by the way, Chewy, you'd appreciate. The idea of the OGs, the guys who've been doing it forever. And a lot of times when they look at Fishtube channels, they get kind of upset because they don't think the person knows what they're doing. And they're, you know, calling themselves, you know, the expert. And by the way, a lot of our people on Fishtube, they're pretty good. There's some that not that good, just aren't. It you know, it's are they well intentioned? Absolutely, absolutely. But are they really good? Not so much. It you know, I just go through and you know, I look at see Siglins 23. That's the deal. My channel's all Atkins Nature Aquariums. What's up? Um, too many are BS artists thanks to Aquarium Co-op. Guppy Time with Joe Mason, Stan Schubel, and Gary Musso. Look that up at Renee. Well, I'll look that up. I haven't seen that one, I don't believe. I'd like to see that. I saw an interview that the Michigan Club, and then they pulled it down, and I felt kind of bad about it because they didn't want people sharing it. Was Stan Schubel talking about his life in Guppies. And I learned so much from him. Yeah, Renee, that's the deal. That's what my channel is about too. I document my experiences. When things don't go well, I fess up to them. It's all good. Here's the successes. Look at these. Look at, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it really does, Color Guppies. Yes, there's good Stan Schubel stuff, you know, on there. Yeah, Doug Ray, you do tell people when you screw up. You know, so it's again, it's just remember this is not an exact science. Is that especially when you're breeding for traits, you're trying to improve certain things. Sometimes they go through there. Doug Gray did a video that came out yesterday, and the navy blue Moscows were from a screw up. Well, Doug was going through how he picks out breeders. And I think that's really an important thing if you're a guppy keeper. If you want great guppies, what do you look for? What do you look for in the male? What do you look for in the females? Took me a long time to sort of figure that out. Chewy, his jokes are fine. Doug's jokes are perfectly fine. It's a hook. That's why we get in. Diet Dr. Pepper, everybody. Hey, hey, Amber, congratulations. It's great news. Yeah, screw ups can create gems sometimes. But the deal is, Doug made a mistake, but with the mistake, he all of a sudden saw, wow, there's something different. Now he's trying to improve upon his mistake. And if he does, it's going to be something we're all going to want in our fish room if you're a guppy person. Hey, Jeffrey Cunningham, they were out of Dr. Pepper where I'm at for a long time. A long time. Rose Aquatics, I have people on my channel. Of people who gave bad advice on YouTube. Excellent, Ro. Excellent. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, the angelfish thing, of course, Amber, my idea of, I go through and I've been sizing out. Okay, so I ended up calling my congressman about getting my money for my, I just don't want to do any type of debt. The only debt I have right now is my mortgage. That's it. And that's sort of the deal. Atkins, Nature Aquariums. Here's a deal. There's speaking of line breeding guppies, it's line breeding. Then there's inbreeding, and the deal is to get the best traits. I have set up sort of 3 different lines of Roebuck Reds. I got originally 5 from Doug Gray, and I've set up 3 different lines. And so I can interbreed them 4 or 5 generations down. So I can all of a sudden swap males around and keep genetic vitality. And of course, for my breeders, pick the ones that have the traits that I want to have. And a lot of times you go, well, how do you tell the difference? They're all red guppies. Well, you want things with the longest dorsal. You want thick peduncles on, especially on those females, but also on those males. You want big bodies. You want do the biggest to the biggest, etc. And a lot of times those get amplified in inbreeding. But after a couple of generations, yeah, you need new blood. So it's related blood. So you're essentially, that would be line breeding, but it would be 3, 4 generations down. So that's how you do it. Discover a new thing for the use of substrates. Excellent. Through a straw. Rose Bad Advice playlist. Thank you, Bob Kaler, for putting that up. That's fantastic. Yeah, and Renee, you're doing exactly right, picking out the males. So I called my congressman. I had to fill out some paperwork. So they said there's been a real delay on getting economic impact payments. Oh, you're kidding me. Yeah, no, you're correct, Chewy. Thank you very much, Don Gallagher. Well, considering cousins can be married, same time as genetics. Yeah, the idea here is that one of the things that I got off of one of the IFGA guys does a blog, and Frank Schullenbrent, am I pronouncing that right? And he's a guy from Jersey, and he's old school IFGA. He actually has a cool article on how developing your own line. So if you breed a male of this color guppy to a female of this guppy, well, you can begin to develop your own line of this color. And so there you go. It's good advice. It's really good advice. And so the idea here is going in and starting your own line. For instance, I'm going to be doing that again as soon as I have this fish room set up. As soon as I'm waiting for this government payment to come in, I'm picking up a couple of. I'm swapping males with a buddy of mine in my fish club. Has albino red males that he did from two different uh, uh, albino red strains that he bred together and he's developed over the years. A guy's a former IFGA guy. And so I'm going to take two males and I'm going to set those up with two Roebuck. Each one is going to be set up with two Roebuck red females. And I'm going to interbreed them and go from there. Let me find it here. I've got it. I'll put it up here so you guys can go and get it. 1 second. Fish, guppies. Yeah, it's yeah, Frank does really good does really good articles. He talks he gets tips from other IFGA guys. So I've learned a lot from there. Yeah, here's the deal. Atkins Nature Aquariums. Here's now Doug does a lot more crosses than I do. But figure out what you want to do with your cross. Try to determine what you're trying to accomplish. Yeah, Alan Bias is great. Learned a lot from his blog as well. Swordtailguppies.com. Yeah, a lot of swordtail guppies. And it's Chattanooga Ed in the live stream. How you doing, buddy? So live stream Ed. So the process comes in that hey Ro, lurk, stay, again with my live streams, here's the deal. Or any of my videos that I put out, all I want, gang, is if you come in, say hi, give me a like, whatever time I get from you. I realize kids, work, taking care of the fish, all that sort of stuff. Tampa, Tom Fishing. Excellent. Get that mowing done. I was sort of hoping to mow today, but it was supposed to be sunny. It rained about the last 3 days. And it rained about 3 days, and I need to dry for a couple of days. So I think it's going to be tomorrow. So it's hopefully the sun comes out and begins to dry stuff. I'll do my front yard maybe later today, but my backyard, I have to have it dry because it gets really wet in the back. I have to put in a French drain in the back. Yeah, again, the worst. There's a lot of concern about doing hybridization in the hobby, and obviously there's a lot of it being done. Flower horns. A lot of angels are hybrids between a couple of different types of angels in the wild. Discus are hybrids, a couple of different strains of of that. A visa is not required for for a French strain. There you go. Looper Loop, what's up? Welcome to the live stream. And by the way, somebody goes in and it's no, Jeffrey Cunningham, I understand perfectly. It's for instance, swordtails. Even green swordtails that you see, a lot of them are hybrids between platies. William Pridemore, how are you? Wow, 29 people here, 24 thumbs up. Thanks, gang. Yeah, here's the deal, Atkins Nature Aquariums. Set up whenever you get a new type of fish. Doug Gray, you correct me if I'm wrong here. Is that set up 2 or 3 different strains of it that you can breed back and forth between each other? Because the deal is, yeah, they become inbred. And the idea here of going out and line breeding to get whatever you're trying to get, you may want to keep the fish looking just the way you got them, which is fine. Or you may wish they were a little bit bigger, or you want a certain type of color. You don't think the color is intense enough. Well, you can go and do that. Oh, yeah, Doug Gray, yeah. And the seller can send a wrong female, either intentionally or by mistake. Yeah, exactly correct. Exactly correct. And looking for info for paternal line breeding from Alan Bias, as opposed to the maternal line breeding, which is more commonly done. Looks interesting to keep with the inbreeding issues. Yeah. And by the way, here's the deal: is that is that you go through and do the crosses. That sort of goes from there. Hey, Doug Gray, yeah, predator movies are great. Most of your fish becoming hybridized in Mexico due to poor irrigation systems. Is one thing in a glass box, not an issue in the ecosystem. Yeah, that's true. Lately, people are hybridizing wild betta species. Really frustrates me. They need to keep the genetics clean for preservation purposes. There are already too many locals being crossed in captivity. Locales. No, that's a let's see. Chewy killed one of the first predators that landed in Canada. Yeah, it's true. And I've been making sure that no other strains mix. Yeah, that's the deal. I had the deal. I showed it. It was a mistake in my fish room, and I don't know how I did. I had a tank. I thought that was all Roebuck Reds, and all of a sudden, I I got a good look at the aquarium. I've done the move, did the thing. It didn't have a light on it for about a month, and all of a sudden, I'm noticing these are a cross, and they're a pretty fantastic cross, but they're a cross. So there you go. It's and by the way, you know, Amber, and you're showing your bettas, so you're obviously much more in tune with this than anything else. there are a lot of people that go out of their way, that they think that breeding back to a or, and by the way, it may not even be a wild strain of bettas, maybe allegedly wild strain, and they think that will bring vigor and strength to whatever they're doing with their fish, and could, I don't know. It's I don't know if it would for sure or not, but that's what some of these people are after. Yeah, the balloon rams, balloon mollies, balloon there's like a balloon guppy thing going around that I've seen. Yeah, it's and again, you go through and whatever your interest is in fish, whatever that is, try to bury yourself in the knowledge of the fish, and clubs are a great way to do it. Hey, excellent, excellent budget aquarist. L264s, excellent. Next time you're driving somewhere with Bob Kaler at Chattanooga, play Elvis music for his pleasure. All right, Ro, glad you're back. Got those kids wrapped up. Yeah, those balloon guppies don't look that happy. Yeah, Chewy, you're totally correct. I'm not even a big fan of balloons. I just hate them. It's balloon fish and balloons. So, again, the process of learning, learn from the OGs, get around OGs as much as you can. As much as you can. The original gangsters or old guard, whatever you want to say, these are the people to learn from. Yeah. No, you're right, Chewy. Discus, they were taken out of different areas of the Amazon. They're essentially different species, or it's like they're related, but they're really in the description of that rainbow fish. So many crosses with it's some of that. And Renee, you're totally right. Some of the OGs become way too stuck to move it forward at all as well. No, it's true because human beings are flawed. Uh, no question about it. It's some of the OGs, yeah, they couldn't see a new way to do something if you kicked them in the head because they've been doing it that way for 25 years. You know, going at it right from there. Hold on a second here. I'll be right back. Give me a moment. Okay, thank you very much. I'm back. Yeah, sofa. What's wrong with that? No, I had my nose was beginning to run. I had to blow my nose, and I also was getting a headache, so I had to get some Tylenol. That was it. Nothing too exciting. Nothing too exciting all the way around. So the deal is this: is that just getting back to it. Yeah, a lot of the OGs can't move ahead. They've been doing it for this long. It can't get better than that. Totally true. But again, it's learning from each other. And the OGs, if an OG's been, breeding a certain type of fish for 50 years, and you like that fish, it's the hybridization of rainbows, obviously a huge problem. Danios, a huge problem. It's obviously with the flower horn cichlids, big issue all the way around. It is. We can all sit there and say, "Oh, how terrible it is," but yeah, sort of happens that way. And Chewy, you're right. We've talked about that. The idea of politics involved in some of the OG thinking. It's some of the OG thinking is, it's our small little club, and that's what it is. Yeah, no, I get it. Jeffrey, I've had uh, the weather has been kind of screwy this year, and I'll tell you what, it's going through there. Yeah, I get it. And Chewy, you're right about the IFGA standards, looking back in time. Um, you know, uh, I was having a chat with Doug Gray about this. We talked about this, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago about the process of, looking at adding, some of these Asian lines to IFGA shows. And if you bring that up to IFGA stuff, I mean, those guys, some of those, not all, of course, but a lot, there's a good population of those guys who go into major freak out if you get off the IFGA bandwagon. They look at it as like the biblical, like the Bible or the Torah or the, Book of Mormon or the, whatever holy book you subscribe to. And okay, that's great and fine and all, but and by the way, I get the idea. I grew up with show dogs, and you're breeding for perfection, and there you go. Yeah, it's and yeah, I like a lumpy dog. How are you? And I love some of the newer Asian strains as well, Doug Ray. I really do. I agree with you. Those high dorsal males, I mean, it's very, very neat. Worked for Manson, Marilyn, or Chuck? Yeah, and there's no reason for people to feel discouraged about the hobby. It's if you're out pursuing this hobby, any organization needs to come out and do that, and sometimes they don't. IFGA, I have not entered an IFGA show yet, and I've had Guppies going for the last couple of years. And obviously, this year I was going to, but obviously they were all canceled, so I couldn't. So, but next year I will. Yeah, Chuck Manson was a musician. Probably did bad reputation for most people in the musical type of thing. And Doug Gray, you're probably right. It's I've talked about my social life. Here I am. I'm a new guy. I'm newly single in a new city. Um, I can't meet anybody. I can't meet people. I want to meet, the next potential Mrs. Thiel. Ah, pecans have 20 grams of fat, 4 grams of carbs, and 3 grams of protein for a quarter cup serving. That is a helpful hap. No social life and no social qualities at all. No, that's cool, Renee. No, that's really, really cool. Yeah, I'll tell you what. When I go into public, I feel the World Guppy Association. There you go. A violent Jim Croce. A violent Jim Croce. Just imagine that, having that as your musical styling. Real good series of epics about Manson's history. Uh, yeah, it's Did he do the Edmund Fitzgerald? Edmund Fitzgerald, or was that Harry Chapin? Or is it Harry Chapin Carpenter? I don't know. Yeah, my brother lives in Los Angeles. I've lived in California twice, both in NorCal. Lived in Sacramento, then I lived in the Bay Area. I lived in Fremont, which is between Oakland and San Jose in the East Bay. Yusef Islam, which is Joseph. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now we're getting away from talking about the OGs. Now we're on to music. Thanks, Chewy. Did Harry Chapin do the Edmund Fitzgerald? Yeah, I'll tell you what. It's California. Talk about saving. The deal about California is that essentially it's a desert place, and when they put everything together in California, is that half of the state is water rich, half of the state is water poor because NorCal sort of they go out and collect the water that comes off the mountains. And unfortunately, everything that hey, you drove through Fremont yesterday. By the way, they had is that breakfast place still open in Fremont. It's on 880 and starts with an M. Maury. I-80 and Maury. Gordon Lightfoot. See, there you go. Yeah, thanks, Don Gallagher. In-N-Out Burger. No, it's a breakfast joint, and it's called, let me just tell you, if you like big, huge breakfast, this is the place. They do a homemade sourdough French bread for breakfast French. Unbelievable. I mean, their home fried potatoes, unbelievable. Fat Burger, none in your area anymore? Two fried eggs and a can of Spam. Heart smart. There you go. Oh, Gordon Lightfoot did the Edmund Fitzgerald. And Chattanooga Ed loves huge food. Who'd have thunk it? Sorry, Renee. Sickle 23. Let me see what this place is. Hold on. Breakfast. Fremont. CA. All right, hold on. The Country Way. The Country Way on Maury Avenue in beautiful Fremont, California. Spam, 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 spam. Glorious spam. Yeah, I love breakfast. If I find a good breakfast place, hook me up. I'm in. Yeah, the Samoans, they love themselves some spam. Couple of Samoan things, and I hope this doesn't come across stereotypical because I'm not trying to be that way. Okay, number one, they're huge. They're monstrous people, big, big people. Number two, sweet, nice people. And the other thing about them, nearly all of them are Mormons. A lot of Samoan Mormons, and they all chain smoke, every one of them. My parents, when they retired and left California, moved up to Washington State. My dad was talking about, we have these Samoan movers. He goes, I've never seen anything like it. They didn't use a dolly to move the refrigerator. They just picked up the fridge and moved it. One guy. I said, okay, let me describe Samoans for you. And I said, they're Mormon? He goes, yes. They chain smoke. How'd you know? And yeah, I mean, just, but they're the sweetest people in the entire world. Absolutely sweet. Good folks. And yeah, the Samoans, though, my dad was just floored that they could just, one of them would lift up the fridge and move it. It just freaked him out. Yeah, Mormons, oddly, all of our politicians are morons with the M removed. Yeah. We see a lot of stupidity. Oh, your battery died? Well, I'm glad you're back, Bob Kaler. I'm glad you're back. Okay, gang, we've been here for an hour and 12 minutes. Thank you guys so much. 25 here, 26 thumbs up. We'll see you Monday night as we warm up for football. There you go. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Have a great, great day.